Hey everybody, this is Mr. Haig. Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Haig's Class. And today we are going to talk about a subject that is very important, but also sort of like taboo a little bit, you know? It's how do you cross the line? We're going to talk about mental health. And as a teacher for the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of cases where I felt that there was a strong need for this movement, and I am grateful that finally it's coming to fruition. People and districts are taking it very seriously because, I mean, there's one thing to be physically unhealthy, but there's a complete different thing to be mentally unhealthy. And as school districts, and of course being an investment in our young people's future, which is also our future, we need to pay attention to this. And I'm all about mental health and about making sure that people have no barriers in their minds so they can progress. So we have Sunnie and we have Kelley. So why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hello.
Hello,
Good
everybody.
morning. Yes, my name is Kelley Martinez. I'm the school social worker here at Azusa High School. I've been in the mental health field for about 9-10 years now and work a lot with students of all ages. Specifically, I enjoy teens, working with teens and doing therapy, counseling services with students and supporting families and parents. So that's a lot of what I do here at Azusa High School. It's my first year here with this district. So.
Hi guys, my name is Sunnie Morrison. I am a new community schools program specialist here at Azusa High, and that is a team of people here in the district that are all about parents, students, and teachers trying to build belonging and improve positive climate and culture on our campuses. So a lot of that has to do with the very topic that Mr. Haig's mentioning of wellness and mental health and trying to get people to get out the stigmas and not have it taboo, but have it be normalized. That we all have minds and that we all struggle with stress and feelings of pressure, overwhelmment, and just various, strains on ourselves. We're all trying to do our best. And so my whole vibe is trying to give people grace and practice that positivity and inclusion. And so, super humbled to be here at Azusa High School. And I actually am so proud to say that I just received my licensed professional clinical counseling license. I passed a test this week, and that was something you had to accrue 3,000 hours.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations.
You.
That's good.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel good because now these kids are, we have professionals here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you ladies both this question.
Yeah.
What is mental health? And is it a bad thing? I mean, what is mental health? What is the definition of mental health?
Well, that is a really good question. That's a hard question. So I heard you kind of saying we need to treat our physical health and we also need to treat our mental health. So when I think of mental health, I think of emotions. I think of to have healthy mental health means that you're, taking care, you're talking to people, you're using coping strategies, you're in tune with maybe your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings. And to have poor mental health, maybe you're feeling, unmotivated, or you're having like crying spells or lashing out in anger. So to have healthy mental health, I think means to take care of yourself and to practice strategies and to have healthy ways of communicating and seeking help, asking for help, and I think that's how I would describe it.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Kelley. And I think it's just knowing that your mind is fragile. We all have a mind, and it's taking care of it. And it's making me think of the Be Kind to Your Mind event we had recently, and just the fact that mental health to me is trying to be kind to our minds, knowing that the world is hard. If you say the word mental health, if you say the word suicide, that doesn't mean that it perpetuates more incidents of such. So that's something we got to reduce the stigma of, just because we say mental health or the word suicide or the word depression. It doesn't mean we're trying to diagnose kids or we're trying to put anything on people. It doesn't mean that it's bad or that it's a taboo. It means, in fact, that you're just normalizing the fact that we all have a mind and we just need to take care of it. So the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we behave is often how I describe it.
What is the root cause? Like, what is, when a caterpillar tries to turn into a butterfly, there's an initial part. What is the initial part of mental health? How does it cocoon into this problem that we see so many teenagers experience now?
Trauma.
Okay, explain that, please.
Okay. I mean, that was my first initial thought is trauma or going through something difficult and not addressing it.
Like a divorce?
Yeah, like a divorce,
or
a death. I know a lot of students here at Azusa High School are involved in, substance use. There's been sexual abuse. I mean, there's so many things that I've only been here at Azusa High School for like 2 months, and I could sit down and share stories and stories after stories of trauma. So, I would say just not addressing it, pushing it aside, and then coping in an unhealthy manner. So using substances or skipping school or engaging in, risky sort of behaviors to cope with what you've endured as a child and not addressing it. So not talking to somebody about it, keeping it.
Sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I think it's sort of like how Mr. Haig, when you said why is it different or like what is it about now? It's maybe similar to a whole separate conversation, a different podcast regarding like the greater incidence of autism now. It's similar in the sense that it's not so much that we've never had poor mental health or that it's never been important to address at schools and beyond, but it's the fact that now we're finally catching up to the trends that have already been out there. We all know that we have stress in our lives. We have expectations, we have pressure, we have family pressure, we have internal pressure, we have a lot of things going on, and I think now we're just becoming, as a society and as a culture, a little bit more sensitive to the fact that let's talk about it rather than just stuff it under the rug.
So when do you take note? What has to happen before professionals like yourselves have to take action? I mean, where does it begin?
I mean, that's a great question. I think
because here's let me ask you. Okay, I know a lot of kids, they don't show mental health problems. They're happy-go-lucky. They're this, they're that. I mean, I have a young girl who comes visit me a lot of times during lunch, and she seems like a very happy-go-lucky girl. She's getting good grades. She's participating. She's a podcaster. But at the same time, she tells me about her dysfunctional family. So I would never have guessed. How does one tell?
Well, I think it's being those teachers like yourself and the ones that are starting to, emerge, where they're just being more sensitive to the whole child. They're looking at the social, emotional, mental health, wellness, the physical, the internal capacities of a child and all the domains, rather than just looking at only about your grades and about your intelligence or your academic prowess. So it's having teachers that are sensitive, that kind of see the whole child, and we're trying to do that in a lot of districts now. And to your point, hopefully we don't have to see kids, hurting and end their lives by suicide or self-harm to all of a sudden wake up. Hopefully we just become more proactive and preventative, restorative, and responsive versus reactive, and just wait for some big thing bad to happen in order to finally put things in place.
Is school itself a trigger? Bad grades, hard grades, uncaring teachers?
I think it can be. I mean, even just from the video that we all made together, a few weeks ago, students saying what they want their teachers to do is to listen to them and not to sweep stuff under the rug. So, yeah, I think it can be. I think it definitely depends on the environment and the teachers and the work of all staff at the school to see our students, to hear them, and to give them the time of day, like you are, like you're, sitting with that student at lunch and talking with her, and she's trusting you to be able to share this, stuff with her, because I think a lot of students have learned how to mask their emotions or mask what's going on, or maybe they don't trust enough adults to share this information with them. So it's almost like a movement, like it's it's going to take some time, I think, for
Yeah.
students to open up.
I'm really encouraged at the data that we received recently after the video that Jim Haig and you and the kids created on suicide awareness. It showed that the kids, after watching the video, 50% of them feel comfortable talking to a teacher. So hopefully through the years at Azusa High and beyond in the surrounding districts, we'll get to the point where more than 50% feel comfortable, that every student can feel comfortable opening up. It doesn't mean that teachers are asked to be a therapist. It doesn't mean that teachers have to be wellness coaches. It just means that vulnerability of being an open door, asking open-ended questions, and being sensitive to the needs of our kids, and having those eyes and ears to help everyone feel seen, known, and heard. And it also means modeling vulnerability, where if you're having a bad day, you drove to work, your coffee spilled, you're stressed out, and you can also maybe model that by anecdotally saying, I'm really struggling today. Let's take a deep breath together, and just normalizing the fact that we all have stress.
So how do you get the students? Okay, because I'll tell you this right now, that class right there, okay, a lot of them have some issues.
Yes.
Okay, whether it's at home, at work, their sexuality, which we just learned. They're struggling to fit in. So how do you, as professionals, encourage them? Because to me, just waiting for kids to come to you is counterproductive. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because a lot of these kids don't even like to raise their hands, let alone having them get up and go see you, the wellness center or something. So what steps are you both, and I guess whoever professional out there, what's being taken right now to encourage them to open up themselves and not be afraid and not think it's like, oh, it's wimpy to go seek help?
Yeah. I think our first step, I mean, we're new at the school. There's a lot of work to do. I think our first step is just being present on campus and connecting with students in classrooms, like just now, going to each student and saying hi, being involved in the campus activities. And I think those are kind of the main things, is just giving students the time of day, showing our faces, letting them know that they matter and that they care, and getting to know them. I think that's the biggest thing, is giving students time to be heard, really.
Yeah. And I also think that, to answer your question on, from my lens, is I think of things in a tier 1 lens. So school counselors and social workers and teachers all alike, I think we need to get out of our silos and work together in collaboration. And that it's if at the data showed that 200 some odd kids out of our 900 that took the survey thought that they needed therapy or counseling. Now, did 200 something kids need therapy and counseling? Perhaps. But perhaps it's the fact that a lot of times we haven't spent the time systemically building a tier 1 program of wellness, of guidance, of lessons, of psychoeducation is what they call it in the mental health world. And we're trying to do that. Be Kind to Your Mind was something to where we use that 25-minute building time at community, and we're trying to do that. So I think as schools do things more systematically, it's less, to your point, it's not just a couple people being accessible. It's holistic, we're all here for you. And that means education, preventative stuff. It doesn't just mean therapy or counseling.
Yeah. Another point too is what we're doing from the data that we collected too, is we're excited to open up we have a little wellness room here at Azusa High School that we're working on opening up here in a couple weeks. And so on Wednesdays, we're going to open up for students to come at lunch and just hang out. It's called Connect and Chill, and students are just going to be able to make friends, to have a safe space on campus, to build friendships, make memories, and then connect with us as trusted adults.
I think that's fantastic. I think that's much new. But there are some footages that I took that didn't make it into the film. And I thought it was... I didn't think it either, because I thought it was too explosive, exposing too much. But I asked them, "What is your biggest complaint about teachers?" They asked me, "Why are some teachers so mean?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I would imagine that because we lived longer than you, over the years we accumulated more crap than you." Okay, so do you know a teacher that is also a cancer patient? You don't. No. Do you know somebody who is, is a diabetic? And do you know somebody whose wife experienced several miscarriages? Do you know all that? Okay, hopefully you'll never experience that, but you're looking at them. Okay, I'm all that. But I choose not to be angry. However, do you think that teacher education is important? Because you two, and I don't mean to speak for you, but you two can't do it alone. So how important is teacher education?
Oh, I think it's so important. And you bring up a great point. I think teachers reminding students that they're human is the one thing, is, again, just that vulnerability. And then it's also the fact that we need to work together to provide not just a canned professional development on trauma-informed practices, but just more of an effort to work together to build bridges and to be human together.
Keep offering information on how we can get someone to talk to these kids.
Okay.
Are we still talking?
I guess.
Okay.
Is it still live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What was the question?
So,
I kind of got distracted.
It was about how can do teachers need professional development, or rather education around these topics, so that we could put better
definitely.
systems.
Yeah, definitely. I know we want to go into classrooms, and discuss social emotional topics with the students, but I would love to see teachers doing that and being trained or given the material to be able to do that. Those that are willing and would like to. So I think that would be wonderful. But yeah, I think too, educating around behavior and why is this student acting out in your classroom? Why, what's yesterday, that awesome activity we did with Miss Dunda was, what are the barriers that students face on campus? And we discussed, so many different things like homelessness, trauma, domestic violence at home, substance use, not having somebody to motivate them, lack of mentorship. There's all these different barriers that they face. And then the teachers see the students in their behavior, right? They see them, they're the ones that are dealing with the student acting out or drama or a fight. These students are the ones to see it all. So yeah, having some sort of education.
In my career, I've received 2 suicide videos, 4 in the morning, and then I've known of a couple of instances of overdose where the student passed away.
Yeah.
And a problem we have in a lot of these towns is gang-related activities.
Yeah.
Now, to me, being in a gang, of course, you don't have a good home life, so you're looking for that connection with somebody. Overdose, well, that to me is just, I don't know what to say about that, because that to me is looking for acceptance as well. So I would imagine that, and I'll tell you this right now, I went down to San Diego and visited the school district down there, and they're wealthy kids, wealthy families. And it's very interesting because this one young girl was saying, when I come home, I kind of want to be with my mom, but she just throws money at the table and tells me, oh, just buy whatever you want, go ahead and get something to eat, when she really wants to spend time with her mom. She doesn't want the money. So she says something very magical. When we can't look up to our parents, we look up to our teachers. I was like, whoa, I've learned something from this kid. And I'm thinking, because I'll tell you, when I first started teaching at the Azusa Unified School District, I was not a very nice teacher. I was a stickler to education. I need you to do my lessons, and that's it. That's all I cared about. And then I got a call from a boss saying, you need to make this work, because I had already been removed from a couple assignments. And they said, you got to make this work, because I can't promise you next year if it doesn't work out. And then I hung up the phone, and I'm thinking, man, I just had an epiphany. I'm not going to worry about them getting lessons. I'm going to worry about them connecting with me, because they want a relationship. And so one kid raised his hand, how do I turn on this computer? And the old me would have been like, are you crazy? Are you dumb? Or what? How could you not turn on the computer? So I walked up to him and I said, it's right here. Here's a button. And he kind of looked at me like, oh my God, I said, listen, it's okay. Sometimes these buttons confuse me too. And now we both know how to turn it on. That was it.
That's awesome.
That was it. That was it. And then since then, that was 8 years ago. Since then, I enjoy a very good relationship with my students. And but it's not easy. Not all of them are wanting to have that relationship, and that's okay. But I think really we as teachers have to be sort of like the background and to be open. Because, some students have said they can't go to some teachers. And I think the education of the teachers is really important.
Yeah. Whatever
Thoughts?
we could do to bring, our LCAP as a district, I'm sure many others are concerned about trauma-informed practices, trying to think about the kids that have high ACEs scores, the kids that have dealt with a lot of things, and that how are we teaching them? Every behavior is a communication. So if the kid's not attending and the chronic absenteeism we face as a districts, if the enrollment, if we're losing kids to private schools or other places, why do you want to go to a charter school or private school instead? And then as far as the other just motivation and apathy, we see that everywhere. So I think that yes, it's educating teachers, but it's also empathizing with them. I mean, we all feel stressed out. So I think it's just knowing that we are human and to give each other grace and to model that. Exactly what you said about the push button in our mental health. Like, yesterday I had a little meltdown. It's not thinking that we're the sage on the stage or we have to be perfect.
And so are there resources out there for students? Say, I mean, they can't reach you at midnight. Okay, they don't have your personal numbers.
Yeah.
Although some of my students managed to get my personal cell phone number. I have no idea how they did that, but they send me weird text messages. And it's not to seek help, by the way. Anyways, but what are the resources out there? Can you please explain?
Tons. So I think the big thing we were pushing at the suicide prevention campaign was the 988 number. So this is a
988.
988.
Okay.
Yes, you can text and call it anytime if you're in crisis.
Nationwide.
So let's repeat that: text or call. Okay.
And there's also Spanish or other languages as well.
And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you're feeling in crisis or you don't even know if you're in crisis, you can text or call 988.
Okay, that's a very important. Anything else? Any website?
The NAMI website, NAMI, is a National Association of Mental Institution or Mental Interventions.
Okay, NAMI, NAMI.org.
I don't know. We'll look it up right now. Jamie putting us on the spot. Just kidding.
No, I'm sorry.
But no, that's okay. We should know that. NAMI it's we might even get
National Alliance on Mental Illness.
National Alliance on Mental Illness. So they have a lot of good information on there. Is it .org
yes.
or
Okay, it should be .org. And so what do you want to say to the Azusa students before we sign off here?
Sure. I want to say I'm happy to be here. I talked to some parents yesterday, and they said, I don't know if everyone knows what community schools is about, and you need to kind of, get yourself an Instagram and all this stuff. There is a lot of red tape that a lot of people don't understand in schools, and so I can't always do all the things I want to do. But basically, I do want to just love people and communicate and tell them that I'm here for them. And students, I just want you to know that I really enjoy working with you. I like saying hi in the morning, even when you're rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, and to try to get you happy about being at school. And those who are struggling to be here, the people that are having a hard time, we really want you to get here because we miss you. We want you to get, we want you to get your credits and graduate. But more than that, we want you to feel seen, known, and heard. We want you to be well. And I'm just grateful to be at Azusa High with you guys.
Yeah, likewise. You summarized a lot of, some of my thoughts, but I think I would like for the students to know that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have those really hard days. And I hope that you would feel comfortable to just seek out one, trusted person here at school, whether it's your teachers or other staff members or Sunnie or myself, your counselors. We're here, we're here to listen. And even if you don't want to talk, I know sometimes it's hard to open up to somebody you don't know super well, but my door is always open. We can color or make bracelets together or do whatever, or we don't even have to talk. We could just put on some music. So I'm open. I'm here to support, and I look forward to getting to know each of you.
And that's a beautiful thing. And of course, if you need help, find professionals in your respective schools, professionals like Sunnie and Kelley here. And I think it's an important thing. You need to take care of yourself. Okay, and I agree that teachers should be aware of this. With that being said, I want to thank my two lovely young ladies over here for not only their presence and their purpose, but also their hearts. And I appreciate everything. Thank you, ladies, for everything you do.
Thank you, Jim.
Ms.
And I
Haig.
believe we're going to work more in the future, and I look forward to that.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Mr. Haig's class. The website is available on Apple and Spotify. And that's it. Over and out. Be well.